So hi, I'm David, and today I will talk that you should not throw away your old legacy code and write everything from scratch, but you should rewrite your app gradually, step by step. And I will show you some strategies how to do this. So I'm Google Developer Expert for Android for many years, and I'm also CEO of my own company around the app SettleUp. Hands up if you use SettleUp. Nice, some loyal users, great. Nice. So you will see some SettleUp screenshots from the past. Okay, so for those who don't know SettleUp, it's an app for group expenses. You enter who paid for what, and it calculates the debts for the trip or something. And this is the past. This is how the app looked before 2016. It was pretty basic. So the technologies it was written, it was Java, all the like communication with backend and asynchronous stuff with async tasks. The backend was REST. This design, even before material design, Google has this design language called Holo. Maybe somebody of you remember. So this was this Holo design. And all the code was in activities and fragments. It was like big spaghetti, all the code, UI and non-UI code together in this spaghetti. So when we wanted to take this up seriously, so the first thought was, let's rewrite the app. Let's completely rewrite. It's too legacy technologies. We need to rewrite. So we rewrote it. This is how it looked after the rewrite redesign. And the new technologies are Kotlin, then the first version of material design, Firebase real-time database. We switched the backend. At the time, the new technology was RxJava, so everything was in RxJava. The spaghetti code from activities was moved to MVP architecture. And as you can see, most of these technologies, except maybe Kotlin, are legacy now. So how it went? So we estimated that this rewrite will take us 3 months of full-time work because really we worked on it full-time. It took a year. And even the year, like at the end, we had to cut some features, some screens, so it wasn't full-featured. We really pushed at the end to release it because it took so long. The important thing is that over this year, when we spent writing the app, we didn't do almost any updates of the old app. We didn't deliver any new features, new content to the users. So it wasn't great. And based on this, the revenue and the users of the app were shrinking actually this year because we didn't deliver anything new to the old app. We focused only on the new app, which was invisible for the users. So we really worked for less than minimum wage, I think, at the end, and the company almost bankrupted. This resulted that some key people, like our designer, they left the company completely in the worst time, just before the release. And we also had, during the release, we found out some major bugs because we switched the backends from the REST API to the Firebase. That there has to be some migrations, and you never catch all the edge cases. So we had some bugs in the data migration, and actually some users lost some data, so it was really bad. And the most important thing is that there were too much change at once. We changed everything at once. We did some gradual rollout, but still, there was too much change because we changed the name of the app, we changed monetization, we introduced subscriptions plans which were not before, and also the user experience of the whole app was completely different. We thought it's much better, it's modern, it's material design, everybody will love material design, but like users don't care about that if they are used to something and you changed everything all at once. So it was quite a nightmare release, and this happened with our rating on Google Play Store. It was really bad. It was like a low point in our history. Like we thought, okay, we're just gonna close the app and like pretend it never happened. But at the end, we slowly, with multiple updates and like reacting to feedback of all these Android users, we slowly grew back over the years, and now we have over 1 million monthly active users, but this was really painful. So also because of this fuck up and almost bankrupted company, I had to start working somewhere full time. so, so so I joined this new company. It was supposed to be a bank from PPF for German market. At the end, it didn't launch for some business reasons, but it was really interesting from like the technology point of view because we were building a new bank from scratch. When I joined, I was surprised. It was quite a new code base, like half a year, but it was so over-engineered, so complex unnecessarily. So, for example, there were multiple architectures in the same code base, like based on which developer wrote the code, and then they chose the architecture which they prefer. So my role was like an architect, and I had to create one architecture and unify everything. So I chose MVVM, and also I was leading migration of backends from GraphQL to Firestore, and it was quite interesting. Like the whole bank was real time, no rest. It was all synchronizing in real time. But the bank haven't launched. So I switched employer. I worked for this company, American company JLL. There are still is there somebody from JLL here? Some of my colleagues? I saw them on mdevcamp. So it was this app for like workspaces and like office buildings and stuff like that. And it was quite legacy code base, and my job was to refactor it to like modern standards. So I led the migration from single module to multiple modules. The UI was like static, but this app was server-driven a lot. Like the server should tell the UI how it should render. So we used Epoxy library, which is from Airbnb. Now it's basically obsolete because Compose is pretty similar. So it was like before Compose, how you could make dynamic UI on Android. Now I would recommend Compose. We switched from RxJava to coroutines. And my last project I want to talk about is my Škoda. We have some people from my Škoda here, right? Nice. So I joined in 2022. I also was like an architect, and I was surprised that the state of the code base was pretty good. It was pretty modern code base. It had clean architecture and 90% unit test coverage, which I was really surprised for such a huge app. And it was already modularized. So that was good, but we had some other challenges which we have to use a lot of refactoring, mainly Škoda and Volkswagen has some SDKs which we need to integrate into the app and into the architecture, so it works nice together. And also at the beginning we thought that we could rely on backends in my Škoda, but the backends were not very reliable. And because even with all this nice architecture and everything, but if your backends are slow and not reliable, users will still complain on Play Store that the app sucks. So I led a refactoring effort to make the app offline first. And so when the user launches the app, he doesn't see loading, but he sees the old data. and there is like a small status there that the app is online or offline, and it's like updating in the background. So that's my Škoda, and after my Škoda, we had some boost in the business of Setlab, and we could focus on it full time. So now I'm working again full time on Setlab because it makes more money now. And we are in the same situation as 10 years ago. Like all the technologies are legacy, and like we need to update to the new stuff. But this time we will not repeat the same mistake, and we are refactoring it gradually. So we are refactoring UI in views to Compose. From MVP, we use clean architecture. We are replacing Eric Java with coroutines, and we are modularizing to multiple modules. We are also updating the design from material 1 to material 3. Also, a lot of things have changed. But this time we are doing it gradually. And now I want to tell you some strategies how you could refactor, rewrite gradually to new features in your own app. So the first thing is have a plan. Like don't just do it blindly. It's quite, I think, easy. But the plan, I think, is not also like set in stone. It should change over the years. The technologies are evolving so quickly, so the plan can change. But have a plan. And I think the most basic rule is that use the new technology and new stuff only on the new screen, new features. Don't try to change everything. Do it gradually, and mostly for the new features screens. You can mix both in your app. So one of the hardest things I did, or I spent a lot of time on this, is modularization. Even today, some apps are single module, and the best practice is to have multiple modules. So I want to show you how I approach it in multiple projects. So at the beginning, or even if you generate like Android Studio project from scratch, you have just a single module app which has all the code. It's fine for small apps, but if you grow, you need multiple modules. So how I approach it? So again, step by step. So I created just one feature, which I work now, and I created a new module, and the app depends on the feature module. And I put only the code for the one feature into the feature module, and the rest of the code is still in the app module. Well, that's fine for the beginning, but soon you will figure out that you need some shared code, like you need access to the database or analytics or something from the app module. So my recommendation is to create some shared code in like some library module, one or more, but only move the shared code which is necessary for the feature. Like don't move the whole database. Maybe the feature is just about category management, for example. So only move the methods from the database which are related to category management. Don't move everything at once. Do it gradually. Only for the feature you need. And like slowly this libraries module will grow and like will be more mature. The next step I did was, I think it's also important in project to clearly mark what's legacy, what's the old, and what's the new way. So it's good to separate the app module and the legacy module. Before, everything legacy was in the app module, so it didn't look legacy. It was like it's part of the app. But you should separate it, and the app module should be really small. It should have like Android manifest. It should have the application class, maybe entry points to the app, like the main activity or something like that. But most of everything else should be either in the features, like the new way, the new architecture, or in the legacy module with the old architecture. And over time, maybe even for time of the year or something, like the end goal is to have small application module, then many feature modules and many library modules. And slowly you cut from the legacy, so the legacy shrinks, it's smaller and smaller every month. And at the end, you have one pull request where you remove the legacy module, and the feeling is great. Okay, so that was about modularization, and now something about refactoring. So you should, in any project, even in new code, not just in legacy code base, you should refactor often. This should be your basic developer skill. It should not be something only like senior developers do or whatever. Refactoring is your friend. There are many tools today which can help you. You should have one rule that, like, even for a small pull request, bug fix, or anything, you should always leave the code in better shape than it was before. Even if you document something better, if you fix formatting or something, like do like really small refactorings in even trivial changes. I don't think like refactoring sprints work, or like now we will take a month and reduce technical debt. I don't think it works, mostly because the business people don't give you time for it, and they will just postpone it over and over. So the strategy, it works and is sustainable for both developers and the business, I think, is that the refactoring and the reducing of the debt should be part of the daily development. It should be part of the features. You are working on the feature, and you need some new technology for the feature. So you are also spending some time on refactoring. So that means that, like, when you are doing sprint estimates, for example, is sprint poker, you should also think that also you will be doing some refactoring, and it should be part. It should not need like separate sprints. This never worked for me. So I was in a role many times as an like architect lead. So I think it's good to have people like this who will lead this and like start the refactoring, like show you some vision or something. But it should not be responsibility just to this person. This person can like have presentation about everybody, introduce to new technology, maybe organize a hackathon around it or something. But the refactoring and the reducing of the technical debt should be everyone's responsibility. Every single one, even like junior developers, everyone should do this. But there could be somebody who leads it. And also, these people, these architects and leads, should do more refactoring than normally. But also, I think they should sometimes do some features. They should not spend all of the time on the refactoring. They should also get their hands dirty, and they should understand like the pain of the normal feature development. Because only when you understand this pain, because then you can think of some more high-level solution which will help everyone to introduce new architecture, technology, tests, anything. So some tips about like how to do actual refactoring, or how I do it usually. So the most important thing is like keep the scope of the refactor small. Don't try to fix everything at once. If you do this, you will get into a state when the app just cannot compile, and you can throw everything away and start again. I myself done this multiple times. So don't do this. Like just change one library, one dependency, one thing. Don't try to fix everything. Do it gradually. So you change this one thing, and then usually try to build a project, and it doesn't compile, right? And these ID errors are actually your friend. It's like a guide for you to see where this new code has like touch points, and where you should update, like from the like new API to old API to new API, or like that. So ID errors are great, and like you should do minimal changes to achieve like build a app that it actually compiles. That's the next step. So when it compiles, first thing I do is I commit. So if I do some more changes, I can do diffs and like see like commit often, so you can see how it went, and you can also revert to some previous commit if you go in refactoring in some unexpected way, and like you start refactoring more than this one thing usually, so you have some commit you can go back to. You repeat this, and when you are happy, test the app, create pull request, and go on. So another thing I saw a lot in code bases is like developers, mostly like senior developers, like they're really afraid of code duplication. Like it's like a secret law you should never break, like the code should never be duplicated. It's like good in practice or like in theory, but in practice it leads to over-engineering often. I saw so many code bases which the developers were so afraid of duplication, so they created abstractions on abstractions which are really not necessary. The term for this is premature abstractions, and it causes a lot of headaches, a lot of communication problems in the team. Like people don't understand the naming. Then you need to have a meeting to explain to everyone. Sometimes it's good to have some code duplication. So, for example, write something in the new technology and keep the old code for the old technology. But it's important that this is temporary. Like it should be written with a mindset that this is temporary. It will not be there forever in the code. That's of course bad. And how to achieve that? It's what I saw is really good with naming. Like naming is really important in coding. And what I do as a first thing in refactoring, I rename the old thing as legacy something, and the new thing is without the legacy word. So as an example, you have some database repository with Eric's Java, which is now obsolete. So even before I start to do anything, I rename the database repository to legacy database repository. So I know that even if the other developers touch it in the future, they will also see, okay, I'm editing something legacy, and I should maybe look how it's done in the new way. And the new way, for example, a database with coroutines, is not called coroutines database repository. It's called the database repository because like this is the new way, the new source of truth, and the other is legacy. I think this really works well without unnecessary meetings and explaining developers. It's clear that what's legacy and what's new. And in this example, I'm using this, for example, in setlab, and like there is underlying database, which is the raw data, and like both of these repositories access the same database, so they have the same data. They just expose it differently to other layers of the app. One thing I want to talk about a bit is navigation. It's one of the hardest problems, I think, in refactoring, and I had a lot of headaches about navigation in many projects. If you are mixing like the old screens and the new screens and stuff like that. So what I found useful is to create one library module, which is called usually navigation, and it contains just interfaces for all the entry points to like the screens, I don't know, activities, or like in Compose. But it's hidden under interfaces, and then the interfaces are implemented in the feature modules, and then the wiring and the calling like between the screens is actually done in the app module, because the app module is the only one which has dependency on everything, even the legacy stuff, the new stuff. This is one place. but keep it small, keep it just to the wiring. Most of the logic and everything complex should be in the feature modules. There is a new library from Google called Navigation 3. It's quite nice. I highly recommend it. I recommend to use it. It's easier than the previous navigation libraries. So they also have support for this, and it's easier. But I disagree with their modularization recommendation. In their documentation, they write that every module you have, every feature module you have, you should duplicate all your feature modules. One is called like impl, and second is API. I think it's too much. I like duplicating every feature module. It's a mess. So I still recommend putting, and this API module would actually contain just these interfaces for the module, nothing else. I think it's cleaner to put all these interfaces into a single module on one place. It's called navigation. But you can still use Navigation 3 library. This is just a recommendation from their part. So now I want to talk about the elephant in the room, maybe a question you are asking, because I haven't talked about AI, right? So the question is, can you just give the old app to AI and it will rewrite it to new technology in hours? So the answer is it depends. It's often. If you have some prototype or some small hobby app, definitely. Like the models are good, they can do it quickly, magically. But if you are working for like large enterprise app and businesses usually prefer predictability, reliability, security over speed. Like speed is not the priority here. So for that, you should take a different approach. But we are in an age of AI, and AI can definitely help. I think all of these still apply in the age of AI. You should not rewrite your app from scratch. You should rewrite it gradually, but with AI. And AI can help and like make you faster. So it will be much faster. So if you are using AI for this, first I recommend invest some time into write it unit tests or some other tests for the legacy code. AI can help you even with like generating those tests. Because then if you have the AI agents, they can validate their refactors and you can be sure that they didn't break anything. So if the tests are in the loop with the agents, you have much more reliable output. It's really tempting to do like single prompt miracles, like rewrite this app from iOS to Android or from Flutter to Kotlin, whatever. Like it will generate some app, but like the last 10% like will be hell. So try not to do single prompt miracles. Go step by step, refactor step by step, understand what it does, guide the agents gradually. Now the agents have this planning mode, which is great. So use it, iterate on the markdown, not on the code. Code review a lot, set up code review agents. And you can tell your agents to use tips from this talk. Okay, so let's summarize my talk. So be aware that rewriting your app from scratch all at once can be really risky. Speaking from experience multiple times, it can lead to disasters. Even in the beginning, it looks like it's all great and like everyone wants to do it. Especially with AI today, like your CEO I can vibe code this in a day. Rewrite your app gradually. feature by feature, module by module. Everyone in your team should be using refactoring. It should not be just privilege of few. Refactoring should be part of your daily feature development. It should not be separate. Maybe somebody can do more refactoring, somebody less, but it should be like part of daily work. Don't be afraid of code duplication. Code duplication leads to too much over-engineering. Sometimes, if it's temporary, code duplication is your friend. And in all of this, AI can help you. All these tools can help you if you use it correctly. So thanks for your attention.
Thank you very much. I think we are going to have quite a few questions, and we have time. So, as we discussed, it's yours.
Okay. So first question: if a feature one module needs some data from second feature, how do you share data? So that means you should usually not have dependencies between features. Features should not depend on each other. If you have some shared code, you should create a library module, and both feature one, feature two will depend on the library module with the shared code. What if navigation is needed? Yeah. So both of these, how do you navigate between feature one and feature two if they don't have direct dependency? Yeah, that's exactly the problem I was talking about. So you should create just module just with interfaces called usually navigation, and both feature one and feature two are dependent on this navigation, so they can call the interface, but the implementation is not in the interface, is in the feature module, and then the app module is doing the wiring together, so everything is injected usually to some dependency injection at one place, and then these features can call each other. Yeah. How do you explain management that a factor is necessary? Nobody's give us a year to just rewrite the app. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Nobody will give you a year, but they will give you like small chunks every sprint. So like you should tell that like the technical debt is a real thing. Like if we don't do this at all, like we will have to do this rewrite and spend 1 year, which like business don't want. So it needs to be sustainable. I think everyone in business understands that like sustainable growth of the code base is good. So you are mitigating risks for the future, and it really doesn't hurt to add like one story point to every feature estimation, to do a little bit of refactoring. It doesn't have to be big. Like try to keep the scope small, do it slowly, and maybe sometimes if they don't understand all this jibber jabber, just don't tell them and do it. So how do you keep the documentation updated? Why not provide direct examples referencing specific classes or files? I think best documentation if it's tied to the code directly. So it's not some separate documentation to the code. So when you are updating documentation, like the documentation should be in the Git repository together with the code. So when you are creating pull requests, you should update the documentation and the code at the same time. That should not be documentation sprint. Now we will document everything. It never works like that, and then it's never in sync. With the AI now, like documentation is easier, I think, because like if you are using the agents, like first you are actually creating the documentation, you are creating the markdown files, and then you tell the agents to implement it, so you have documentation for free. You have temporary refactor codes that have been there for ages. It's like yes, but it's still like I call it temporary legacy, and it's just the amount of time it will go away. But it will go away. Just it can take years. How do you handle modularization of database? Is it cut by feature, so entities features they interact much, or is it own single module? Maybe both. So what I do, I have single module for the database, but I keep the entities only for the new features. I don't put all the entities at once. I gradually grow this library module with entities related to the features. At like the final goal is it will have everything, but it's good to have it gradually. But if you have like special case like yours, when like only two features need something and nothing else, maybe you can split the library module database into multiple modules. It can definitely be done. It's based on your use case.
Okay, I think pick one last question.
Okay, I will pick my favorite, not navigation. The last one, I think I already answered. Yes, you can modularize the modules more. And this is interesting. Feature flags, yes, they are your great best friend. If you are rewriting like the whole screen to a new technology, new design, you are redesigning something, definitely use feature flags and do A/B tests with the people. Also, we are doing this exactly in SetLab. Currently, I'm in the process of rewriting the new transaction screen, which is what people mostly use, like to enter new transactions. That's the core of the app. So I'm really cautious, also based on the past experience, to just like replace this screen for everyone. So we will do A/B tests. In my code, there is the old screen, the new screen, and A/B test switch between them. Also, we will have an option to go back to the old screen. Like if somebody doesn't want it, they can go back temporarily. Like at the end, we will switch everyone, but we want to be sure that it's good for everyone. We will get feedback, improve on it, and only when we are very sure that like we will not have a Google Play Store rating go down, then we will switch the screen for everyone, and then finally I could delete the code.